I'm a style boy for life.
Welcome back to HIVEMIND Unlimited.
And welcome to another episode of our movie series, How Did It Age? Where we watch older movies and reevaluate them with modern context. Today's movie is Popstar, Never Stop, Never Stopping. A 2016 film, hasn't even been 10 years since it came out. Probably our most recent movie in the series.
Yes.
But a highly requested one. It is the movie directed and produced and created by The Lonely Island, which is Andy Samberg, Akiva Schaffer, and Jorma Taccone.
Funny names in that group.
Yeah. And they grew up together somewhere in California.
Yes. Yeah, on their Wikipedia, it's like 1990 to 2004. It's basically like their births. It's like that's when they started.
Yeah. They've been The Lonely Island. That was the original name of their company when they were doing sketch stuff, and they obviously were on SNL for a long time. And then this movie was, I believe, their first since leaving SNL.
As Riley said, it's created by The Lonely Island, and it also stars Sarah Silverman, Tim Meadows, Chris Redd, Imogen Poots, which is an electric name, and the cameos as follows: 50 Cent, Akon, A$AP Rocky, Big Boy, Michael Bolton, Wynn Butler, Mariah Carey, Regine Chastain, Simon Cowell, Miley Cyrus, Danger Mouse, Snoop Dogg, DJ Khaled, Jimmy Fallon, Steve Higgins, Adam Levine, Nas, Katy Perry, Pink, Bahati Prinsloo, and Questlove.
Is that all? Oh, no.
And,
There's all on their page.
Rihanna, The Roots, Rissa, Seal, Martin Sheen, Ringo Starr, Asa Tacoon, T.I., Carrie Underwood, Usher, and Pharrell Williams.
Wow. Asa Taccone, I believe that's Jorma's brother, who is the lead singer of Electric Guest.
Nice.
Isn't that weird? I found that out not that long ago because I listen to their podcast every week, the Lonely Island Seth Meyers podcast, and they were talking about that, and I was like, Electric Guest? I saw them at like Lollapalooza 2013 or something.
A little taste of the nepotism, maybe.
Do you think, who's giving the net? Is it Jorma putting Electric Guest on, or Electric Guest giving Jorma his start? Oh, it's just nepotism.
They probably trade off, I guess.
Yeah.
Whoever's bigger at the time.
Here's my plot synopsis for those who have not watched it or not seen it in a long time. This mockumentary from SNL trio The Lonely Island chronicles the rise and fall and rise again of Connor For Real, former member of a pop rap group, The Style Boys. After the group breaks up due to personal conflicts, Connor launches a solo career to massive success, but succumbs to the pitfalls of fame and turns to gimmicks when his second album flops. In the midst of a public meltdown, he realizes that he must make amends with his friends and former bandmates to save his career.
You are so good at synopses.
Thanks. I like writing those.
Yeah, you're good at it.
Thanks.
It's awesome. It was a massive box office flop.
Yes.
With a budget of $20 million, this movie only made 9.7 in the box office, but turned into a complete cult classic.
Yeah, the reason that we're doing this is because it's on Netflix. Obviously, it's been requested a lot by you guys. And again, if you want to know what movie we're doing for this, you can join our Patreon. That's where we take suggestions as well, or become a member on the main channel, HIVEMIND. But yeah, this one, it was commented a lot, but it just went onto Netflix for, I believe, the first time.
Yes.
And it has become a movie that a lot of people talk about, say they love, much like Hot Rod.
Yeah, exactly. It has a 79% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 6.7 on IMDb, and a 3.6 out of 5 on letterboxd. And Glenn Kelly, via Roger Ebert's publication or website, gave it 2.5 stars and called it the Spinal Tap for the Justin Bieber generation.
Yes, and we were going to get into it eventually, but this was kind of marketed as a Justin Bieber parody movie, which I don't think Lonely Island wanted to do. I don't think they liked the way that the movie was marketed, and they kind of point to that as maybe one of the reasons that it did flop at the box office, because it was just marketed as something that it wasn't. They said they pulled inspiration from multiple popumentaries, like the One Direction one, the Katy Perry one, and of course the Justin Bieber one, but it was marketed as like, this is Justin Bieber parody, and it was not supposed to be that.
Yeah, kind of trying to ride the coattails or something of J. Biebs. And they invested a bunch of the marketing into just like strictly YouTube. They took like a huge bet on just like, YouTube's gonna get people out to this.
Yes.
And that's like, that was a bad call.
Yeah.
Production began in 2015 under the working title Connor For Real. The subsequent like album for the movie has 28 original songs on it, all co-written or exclusively written by Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler.
Which is crazy.
I know, it's pretty crazy.
He's not even in the movie.
He's not in the movie, but he did write all of the songs for it.
Including the Hanukkah song, which can be heard during the credits. Fuck. It's Andy Samberg. He wrote the songs. And it reached number 6 on the rap charts, which is crazy for albums. And it got number 1 on comedy Billboard albums, but that's kind of to be expected. It's
they go
massive.
number 1 on the comedy Billboard albums or whatever until their next album comes out.
Yeah.
Like it just stays number 1 forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say all that to say it's pretty prolific and impressive. To 28 original songs for this movie is like insane. And I think they only use, maybe a little over half of those in the movie, but there's a ton of just extras. It's a movie constructed around an album, pretty much. It's like a comedy musical.
Yeah. Had you seen this movie before?
Honestly, and I don't like admitting this to you because I know you love this movie, I don't think I had watched it front to back.
Yeah.
Like I'd seen the wolf scene and I'd seen Bin Laden and I've seen like the songs, but there were definitely moments where I was like, oh yeah, I've never seen this scene. So I think that was my first proper sit down and watch of it.
I've seen it like over 10 times.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite. I mean, the Lonely Island in general, I just grew up. They were like, comedy heroes of mine. And so anything that they do, I've seen. But this one is one like, I love finding a friend who's never seen it.
Yeah.
And is like, oh, didn't that movie like suck? Because it didn't do well, people just assume. And I'm like, no. Let's sit down and watch this movie. And then people love it. It's a really fun watch, even if you don't think it's a good movie. It is so fun to watch.
Yeah. I was almost in tears several times. I think the like common misconception is, or at least for me, it was cleaner than it is.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I didn't know it got so crass and like raunchy and like dirty. And Maya Rudolph drops a hard R in this.
Yes.
And we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, Deborah.
Yeah. Did you see it in theaters?
Yeah, I saw it in theaters the first weekend it came out.
Nice.
Yeah. I have so many in lines, but some of my favorite delivery is just whatever Andy Samberg is doing with the Connor character, where it's this like sultry, self-serious pop rap guy. That voice that he picks makes everything so funny. And I just love when he says, my fans and me, we're in love. My songs are love letters, and the arena is our bedroom. The stage is where we fuck. It's just so good.
Some of my favorite lines in this, the cameos are awesome. A lot of them are really well timed, but just it opens up like with Questlove and Nas kind of like talking about, like you see the Style Boys and you see like the origin of Connor for real. And you're like, oh, this is like shitty Beastie Boys. And then it like cuts to Nas. It's like, Karate Guy? Are you kidding me? That song changed my life. And Nas is giving it nothing. He's giving it nothing at all. He's throwing underhand pitches. He's sitting there. He's like, are you kidding me? That song changed my life. And I'm like, man, they really paid Nas to give this deadpan ass.
And you have such a great range of New York rappers doing this because A$AP Rocky gives it too much.
Yeah, he gives it too much.
He's like, this shit is fucking revolutionary, man. Like, he's like acting like he's such a fan. Like, he goes, Connor for real, Kid Contact and Kid Brain all on one stage. I mean, this is just some revolutionary shit, man.
It is like, you see like the dawn of like A$AP Rocky's in acting now and like has a major role in the new Spike Lee movie that's coming out with Denzel Washington. Like, you see him like chomping at the bits, and Nas doesn't give a fuck. And then you see Questlove in his natural habitat, which is a music documentary. He doesn't have to act. He's like, you always see him in the chair like that. Like doing
it does feel so believable in most of those cameos. Like, it's weird. You get like Carrie Underwood and you get like Mariah Carey being in it is crazy. And her line of just like the Humble song is so great because of her reputation. And she's like, I really related to that song because I'm the most humble person I've ever met. You know, that's great too. I want to point out Sarah Silverman as Paula has some amazing lines, especially in the confessional setting. She's like, we'd like to get to the point where Connor is everywhere, like oxygen or gravity or clinical depression. I love that line.
Yeah, that's like a classic Sarah Silverman like style delivery.
Yeah.
So good.
And then the other one I love from her is when she's like, Connor's music may not be what I listen to in my free time, but it seems to make so many people money. Because you think it's about happy and like it's going to be happy, and then it's Well,
he's such a business. And I also love when Tim Meadows is describing the personal payroll that Connor has going.
Oh, yeah, the 32 people.
Yes, because there's all this pressure on the next album being successful. Despite all of his previous success, you get the feeling that like the money is just bleeding out and there can never be enough. And the more he makes, he's always just going to keep paying people. And he's running through a weed roller, a weed holder, a guy who punches him in the nuts to remind him where he came from. And he does, when that scene, the guy comes into the studio and punches him. And then you see Connor go, "Oh yeah, that's right." And he actively
dabs him and he goes, "Thanks, man."
He like actively remembers. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's right. I used to get bullied. Hell yeah." I like love that.
And then the perspective manipulator, which is a guy who's slightly shorter than him that stands near him in photos, and he's way shorter and is dressed like a middle schooler.
He's like a big soda.
He's like a fake basketball jersey. It is so like all the details are amazing.
There's a joke every second. It's just like hit.
One of my favorite, I could have put this in scenes, but the Ringo delivery on the punchline of this is so good. But there's a song in it that is the Equal Rights song.
Yes.
And it's kind of playing on Macklemore. It's playing on the Macklemore song, but it has Pink on it. And some of my favorite musical moments in the movie come from this song. But he's just like, "I'm not gay. But if I was, I would want equal rights." And then he just keeps reminding the listener that he's not gay.
Not gay.
But he thinks it's good. And he keeps then doing it like hot wings. He throws in, he goes, "Not gay, hot wings." Leonard Skinnerd. He just does all of that. And he keeps reminding people that he's hooking up with straight women.
Yes.
All these things. But my favorite in that too is when it's where Pink sings the hook and is like, "I was born this way." And he goes like, "I'm straight." And he goes, "You were born your way. You're gay."
Yeah, you're gay.
You're gay. He does it like that. Song ends, and then it cuts to Ringo saying, he's writing this song for gay marriage, like it's not allowed. It's allowed now.
I also love when he's hyping up the album. "We're going to be surprised releasing it next Thursday at midnight." That little line kills me because it just illuminates how fucking dumb Connor is as a character.
I love when he goes, "Just jacked it. Feeling pretty mellow right now."
He's like under the blanket.
So,
just jacked it.
He's too honest with his fans.
Yeah.
And like we said, there's a joke every second, but there is some actual commentary on the music industry throughout this movie.
Yeah.
And one line that I think about all the time is when he's talking about the Aquaspin thing to Yorma. And he's like, "There's no such thing as selling out anymore, man. This is how big business works. I mean, nowadays, if you don't sell out, people will wonder if nobody asked you to."
Yeah, that's great.
I love that.
Yes. And then speaking of the Aquaspin thing, the music plays in the appliances when you open it, and upon like the debut of it, they cause a nationwide blackout.
Oh, yeah.
And then that cuts to the news, and Barack Obama calls Connor a dumb fuck.
A real dumb fuck.
Yeah, a real dumb fuck.
The president. Yeah, it's awesome. It's also funny because it's like, it's so weird to think about that 10 years ago, Barack Obama was president.
Yeah.
That feels like 20 years ago to me.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, that's the president at the time.
Yeah, we miss you, Barack.
We miss you.
A character we haven't really talked about yet, but has some amazing lines is Lawrence.
Yes, Lawrence was in the Style Boys, and he's the one who had the fallout with all of them, and now is a farmer. You don't find out until later in the movie that he's a weed farmer.
Yes.
And so he has like a bunch of money and like a whole crew working for him and stuff. But he's like, into woodworking. He's grown a big beard.
Yeah.
He's like, there's so many great Lawrence lines, but one of the best in the entire movie that I feel like nobody talks about is when he's explaining how Connor's music is now failing because he needs the Style Boys.
Yeah.
And he says, it's like a tricycle. You take away one wheel, what do you got? Nothing. A bicycle. Don't use that.
Don't use that. Yeah. That line plays like two ways for me. It's like either don't use it in the documentary or like don't use a bicycle.
No, it's don't use that footage. Yeah.
Yeah. Lawrence is ridiculous. The beard is egregious too. It's like the dumbest looking beard.
The other one that he does that is so funny is when he's on the phone with Yorma and Yorma's like, "You should come out to the show." Connor wants to apologize and he's holding a baby goat and the goat is making sounds and he's like, "What's going on over there?" And he's like, "Don't worry, that's my girlfriend. I'm having sex with her."
He's embarrassed to be holding a goat.
He's like, he doesn't want to admit that he's holding a goat, even though he knows he's a farmer.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "Oh, it's my girlfriend. I'm having sex with her." I'm having having sex while I'm on the phone.
One of my favorite lines comes from the Bin Laden song.
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't even in a cave, but there was no stopping it.
Yeah, because right before that, he sings, she said, invade my cave with your special unit. I said he wasn't in a cave, but there was no stopping. He's like correcting the facts of the Bin Laden assassination, but at the same time,
there's no stopping the sexual coercion that's happening.
I love that whole song is my favorite song in the entire movie, but it's like, I have to say your request is so irregular, but I can see you looking horny like a stegosaur. Like all of it is ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, the music is crazy. I love when they're talking about the research or like what went into the new album. It's like, we did the research and EDM is hot. Yeah. It's like, that line is just so dumb. Like, we crunched the numbers and EDM is hot.
And I love that they start by naming real DJs.
Yeah.
And then he goes, Oprah Spinfree. And he just like keeps naming different ones. And then the last one is Elton John.
Yeah.
Because all these dudes are killing it. All of that is to convince Kid Contact to wear a robot head during the concerts. Yeah. And then he's like, robots on ecstasy and shit. Like, he doesn't understand it. Yeah. And it doesn't make the music any more EDM. No. It's just like, you gotta look like that to sell records.
After the penis tuck nude mishap that happens that we'll talk about more in scenes, there's an exchange between Tim Meadows, who's the manager, and Connor. And Tim's like, you were barely up there. It was like 10 seconds. And Connor's like, 10 seconds is eternity. That's like a third of the way to Mars. And Tim's like, Connor, we've talked about this. 30 seconds to Mars is a band. It's not a fact. Tim Meadows has that, like, he has so many lines in this because he's in such a similar position to Walk Hard.
Yeah.
Like, his delivery reminds me of like, you don't want this shit, man. It makes your dick hard. Like all the drug scenes with John C. Reilly and Walk Hard. Tim Meadows is just unbelievably funny in this. It's not a fact.
He's so good because like the character is so developed. It's like Tony.
Yeah.
You know, like you get that, you get the backstory, but then he's also like kind of a bitch. Like he gets like really amped when he does anything hard. Like at the end when he's like, I will eat your head.
That's one of my favorite lines. Say that shit again, young blood. I will eat your head.
He has so many bloopers from this too that I watched. Like he's like, say that again, homeboy. He says that. And then there's another one where they're like side stage during the Hunter the Hungry performance. And he's like, the kids love it. And he kept like saying it like that. And so they were making fun of him. Even in another scene at one point, they're having like a blooper moment. And Andy Samberg just goes, and how do the kids feel about it? The kids, they love it.
Yeah, you kind of get the sense that they like, there's so many like tightly written Lonely Island jokes in it. But then like Sarah Silverman and Tim Meadows were kind of just given free reign.
Yeah.
And they're like, try 40 takes. Couple of them are going to be great.
Yeah. Perhaps the funniest thing about this movie is that we're supposed to believe that Connor's first solo album and also the Style Boys music is universally beloved.
Oh, yeah.
It's not any better. In fact, most of it is worse, I think, than the new album. Like Bin Laden, that song's great. Humble's a good song. Like there's like good songs that come out on the Flop album, and all the old shit, like the catchphrase verse. Being this like talked about thing, and he's like, doink the doink, dinky nuts. Like the fact that Questlove and Nas are like the catchphrase verse, man, this is legendary.
50 Cent will be like, in a good verse, maybe you'll get one, maybe two catchphrases. He did a whole verse of them.
Yeah, like 50 of them. Like Big Boy being on the radio, Andy Samberg's like, the catchphrase verse as it's now known. And he's like, oh, hello. Like he's like, does his signature hello.
Yes.
But then my favorite thing about that is then DJ Khaled, the cut to that, and then him being like, when you have a catchphrase, the world is catched by your phrase. He was the perfect choice to do that because he is the catchphrase guy.
Yep.
But that verse is legitimately terrible.
Yeah.
And the fact that also we're supposed to believe, just as a Lonely Island fan, that Akiva, his character, wrote that verse.
Yeah.
Akiva is not writing dinky nuts. That is 100% an Andy Samberg line. And you can tell that these are Andy Samberg catchphrases. Yeah. DJ Tanner. Like, all of it is so Andy. Another Tim Meadows line that I have to bring up is also when they're talking about bringing an opening act onto the tour. And he's like, do you have any ideas for an opening act? And he's like, just one. And you aren't going to like it. He goes, did you say are or aren't? He goes, arn.
Yeah, that one like caught me by surprise because like I heard him say it and I was like, what did he say? And that's the exact exchange. Like it was intentionally confusing.
Just one, and you aren't gonna like it. It's just like so stupid, but it's great. I also love in that scene where Andy Samberg ends up naked on stage.
Yes.
And he's like, well, how did that happen? Like, blah, blah, blah. And Hunter the Hungry is just like, I didn't do it or I did. Not do it or I did or did I? Like, he's just, the fact that he's just able to do that like ping pong thing of back and forth. And he's got such crazy eyes.
Oh, his eyes are peeled open.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't do it or I did. Not do it. Also, Eric Andre in all the CMZ scenes are so good.
Yes.
It's Will Arnett, it's Chelsea Peretti, Mike Birbiglia, Eric Andre. And for some reason, they're obsessed with sipping soda.
Yeah.
They just keep like sipping out of everybody's straws. They keep having more and more cups taped together and everything. But at one point, they're just like hyenas or something. They're like feasting on all this tabloid fodder.
There's like a rage.
Yeah.
Like some sort of fever rage for tabloid.
Yeah, they're like, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. And then Eric Andre ends that scene by just going, come on. It's like a quintessential Eric Andre. And as a fan of Eric Andre, when this movie came out, I was so hyped to see him in a movie. And he doesn't have a lot, but what he does have shows off exactly what he's so good at. Like,
when he's so good at like poking fun at that exact thing. Too.
Yeah.
Like, it's just perfect.
The long hair he has. It's amazing. I also love when Kid Contact just DJs Connor's shows with an iPod.
Yes.
Like he has all this equipment, but he doesn't use it for the show. And then he's just playing audiobooks off of it. And I just love when he points to the iPod and goes, Harry P.
Harry P.
He's listening to Harry Potter.
Dude, he's so much better than I thought he'd be going into this.
Oh, yeah. He's a great actor.
Like, he's like sneaky one of the best performances in it. Like, he's so believable. He's like bashful and kind of shy, but he's like supportive. Like it really works well.
He has a lot of low key lines, like when they're talking about Twitter followers, and he's like, some of those are probably bots.
Yeah, he wants to respond, but like is like a little beat up.
Right. And if you listen to their podcast too, the dynamic. All of the dynamics are like exactly how they are in a lot of their stuff. Like he is that bashful and shy and like, I don't want to say insecure, but you get that. But it's like an endearing thing that he's kind of like the soft-spoken one, but they all think he's so funny.
Right.
But he's just like, about it.
I mean, we have to talk about Maya Rudolph dropping the hard R.
Oh, I cried laughing the first time I saw that. I still think about it all the time. It is wild.
It's insane, dude. And the whole, just the whole aqua spin thing, like, they're pitching washing machine and fridge.
It's making fun of the U2.
Oh, because they made everyone download.
Yeah, they put the album straight into their iTunes or whatever. Sure. Yeah, it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
So they're just making fun of that, where they're like, it's everywhere, like, blah, blah, blah. People are going to like this, and then they hate it. And Yorma is the one who, like, warns him, like, isn't this a little invasive or whatever? And he's like, come on, man. People are going to love it.
Right.
I will say, unrelated to that, do you know who Maya Rudolph's mom is?
I've heard this before, but is it like the Queen of England or something?
It's Minnie Riperton.
Yes.
Isn't that wild?
She can hit that 7th octave.
Yeah.
One of the only ones to ever do it.
Last super underrated line. I don't know why this gets me every time, but at the beginning when they're talking about, like, Sarah Silverman's character is like, sure, he has a lot of agreeable people around him, but they're not yes men. And then he does a turnaround jump shot, misses horribly, and everybody says it goes in.
Yeah.
And then the one dude dabs him up and just goes, "You a murderer, son." I lose it to that line. It's so funny.
Yeah, we already kind of touched on the TMZ scene or the CMZ scenes, but those are some of my favorite, like, cut-ins in this. We kind of experienced it not too long ago, but like the Yeti craze. It's like the cubicle office people with the
Stanley Cups.
Yeah,
the
Stanley Cups. That is like, that's such like a niche thing to make a joke.
Yeah.
But then how far they take it. And then he even, like, Will Arnett, like, grabs Eric Andre's at one point.
Oh, he just goes around and sips everybody's out of their straws. I think, like, something about it, it's very, like, beneath the surface, but to me it's like they can't get enough sugar. Like they're all sipping soda. Like it's just kind of like, oh, they're like hyped up, caffeinated freaks who are like so excited by the simple empty calories of soda.
Yeah.
You know?
Energy drink, coffee, like they're office freaks that are just terminally online.
And just so invasive, and they don't respect any of the people they're talking about. They're just like heathens, you know?
The early scenes of like learning about Lawrence as a farmer.
Oh, so
I really love, because like you said, you don't learn that he's a weed farmer till like the final act of the film, as we'll call it.
Yeah.
But he just has like these dry fields, and then he's into woodworking, and he sucks at woodworking.
Oh yeah.
All of them are so bad.
When he carves the poppy, and then he's like, and if you look closely, you'll see that it's not real because I didn't get credited for writing the entire catchphrase verse.
You can tell he's just like genuinely bitter. You know, he didn't like go away to be a farmer and like farming. He's like pissed.
Oh, even like later in the movie, he says he's like I'm having so much fun today, like recording.
Yeah,
kind of makes me think I fucking hate farming. He like realizes he just doesn't fucking like what he's doing at all.
Yes.
But also, I love when they're playing the Bin Laden song for him, and he's like, "Shit's terrible. It's awful."
The Hunter the Hungry set at like it's like at the shelter.
Oh
it's
yeah,
like the underground.
Yeah, Hunter the Hungry, by the way, is Tyler the Creator. Like they fully based it off of Tyler the Creator, down to like everything. It's like he's got the super like in your face kind of horrorcore rap. Like everybody thinks he's crazy, but also he's like, I'm a cute little kitten.
Right.
Like the early Odd Future stuff had like cats and all that, you know, colorful skate culture stuff.
Yeah, the juxtaposition of like saying shock awful stuff, but then also being like,
yeah, and his song that they make for it is like legitimately, it reminds me of the first Tyler the Creator big hits. Where it's like stomping through the forest like a Tyrannosaurus. You know?
Yeah, Chris Redd, unbelievable in this.
I did find some awesome fun facts that I did not know about this movie from just looking into it. In a deleted scene, Seth Meyers asked Connor if he knew that his lyrics quoted the slogan of notorious pedophile organization NAMBLA. Sexual freedom for all, and the Equal Rights song is their slogan. And Connor says, you know, Seth, I didn't. And I just think it's so sad that we live in a world where nobody told me that before I put the song out. Doesn't talk about the world. He's talking about himself. It's so good.
I don't like that I'm learning that there's a pedophile organization.
I knew it only because it was referenced a few times in early SNL sketches.
Yeah.
They did like a debate of all of like the independent parties. I forget who does it, but they're supposed to be like the president of NAMBLA. Or they're the NAMBLA candidate. It's Man-Boy Love Association.
Oh,
I know that. It's the National Association of Man-Boy Love Association. It's so fucked up. It's like, I only learned that because of SNL.
I hate that.
But it's crazy.
The fact that they feel like they have the right to make an organization.
Yeah, Seth Meyers also was completely cut out of this movie.
Yeah.
Because he's not even in it, but that scene would have been so funny in it. Another scene that they cut out was one of his lackeys, the one dude, and he's like smoking a joint and he's trying to come up with ideas for them. This is like they're like sitting around a table or whatever, and it's like not even a scene that's in the movie at all, but he comes up with the idea for a record store, but like really roundabout. He's like, now what if like we printed out CDs and we put them in like a plastic thing, and then there's like a sleeve in the front. We make the record label do all of this, by the way. Like, we're not going to do this ourselves. And then we sell those in like a store, but then we also get like other people's CDs and put them in there, and we sell all of them there. It'll be like the internet, but like in real life. And then they're like, isn't that just a record store? And he's like, no, it's like the internet, but like in real life, like you'd actually buy the music. And then like Tim Meadows is like the voice of reason in it, but they're all just like, oh damn, like I guess that already exists. It's like a very stupid scene, but it's funny. Also, this is the most insane lore drop that I found was Bill Hader is in this movie for a second.
Yeah, he's the roadie.
He's the guitar tech who loves flatlining. Yeah. He's like learned it from the movie Flatliners. I like to get an F-line session at least once a week.
Yeah.
He's in it, and in the deleted scenes on the Blu-ray, he says that he is cousins with Dave, who used to be a motorcycle mechanic for the late, great Rod Kimball, from Hot
nice.
Rod.
Yeah.
He says, who was unfortunately shot and killed by his dad. So that's the lore drop. And then he says, Dave and I, we're what you would call a lateral move. And then he breaks because he is like playing the exact character that Dave from Hot Rod is. Like he is the exact same accent, everything, long hair. And he just makes commentary on the movie and his performance in the movie. And then he breaks, so they didn't use it. But he's just like, we're what you'd call a lateral move.
That's hilarious.
More deleted scenes. Sorry to just pile all of this on you. But see, the song that Seal is singing at the wolf ceremony where he's proposing to Ashley Wednesday, a.k.a. Imogen Poots, is actually Mona Lisa. But it's like a part of the song that's not in the movie. And they just changed the lyrics a little bit. And the arrangement is obviously like a live, orchestral arrangement for Seal to sing. But it is like most of it is the exact lyrics from Mona Lisa. It just, you don't see that part of the song in the movie.
Interesting.
Which is kind of funny.
Yeah, that he's having Seal sing his own song.
And then also there's a line from the bridge of Mona Lisa that Seth Meyers says is his favorite of any Lonely Island song of all time, where he says, I'm an American man. This is my native land where no one lies about paintings, but that's not the case in France, which is so funny to me for some reason.
Just a quick dig at France.
But fully deleted songs also are Fuck Off, which I implore everybody to go watch. I just showed Graydon this before.
It's unbelievable.
But it's a song about like standing up to your parents or your teacher. It's like directly for kids. At the end of the hook, it's one of those like pop rap hooks where it's like, fuck off, whatever. And then it goes, I'm gonna live forever. And then says, I hope you get butt-fucked in prison.
Just unbelievable. Like, they pack so much in that.
Oh, yeah. And it's like, if I were you, I would slit my wrist, fuck off. And there's tons of kids at the concert during it.
Yeah, which doesn't happen at all in the movie.
No, there's like the whole front row is just kids singing this horrible song. It is so funny. And he also ends it by being like, be good to each other. Peace.
Yeah.
There's also a song called Weirdo that got deleted from the movie. And it's just like a hard kind of like battle rap style beat.
Yeah.
And he's just singing about being a weirdo. But then for some reason every hook comes around to naming a movie and then saying best picture. Guess I'm doing something right.
He's like, I'm crazy for driving Miss Daisy. Won best picture. Guess I'm doing something right. And then then the next hook, it's like Rain Man. Best picture.
Must be doing something right. It's a very funny one, too.
Yeah.
And the second credit song in the movie, which originally had a scene, but they deleted this scene, too, is a song called Legalize It, which is a reggae song about accidentally smoking crack. And then saying that it should be legalized. So he's like, I thought it was marijuana, but it's crack. And he gets like super hype as the song goes on and then just says they should legalize crack. But as a reggae song, it's so funny because they're very good at that. Like Ross Trent is one of their best of all time.
Yep.
And they obviously are big fans of the music. So they're using references that are like, they're spot on, but they're also still in this goofy Lonely Island style where Andy Samberg can't help but be like, you know?
A character we haven't talked about yet is in many scenes that I love is Justin Timberlake is not doing a cameo in this. He's like playing the chef.
Named Tyrus Quash.
Yes, who prepares Connor's obscure treats.
Yes.
Because of course he has to have things in a very peculiar way. He needs certain shapes cut. He needs...
Yeah, the carrots he's like going through all the ways that carrots are cut. He's like, you got triangles and julienne. Julienne, I believe that's how the French say it.
Yeah.
Julienne.
And he's like obviously like a classically trained chef that has been like reduced to carving peanuts for this pop star.
Yeah.
And then there's the scene where he is cutting the carrots and they're all backstage and he's singing Mona Lisa after you see the performance for the first time. Obviously very well. It's Justin Timberlake. He's like riffing and like running scales and they're like, shut up! They're like, stop, dude.
Like, leave the singing to the professionals.
Yeah, leave the singing to the professionals. And then he goes, and cut those carrots quieter. And he tries to go really slow, and it's like... It's like the loudest fucking carrot of all time.
Yeah, that scene is so awesome too because it like cuts into the room and then you're just like, he's just kind of in the background. And he's like, Mona Lisa, you're an overrated piece of shit. Like it's so, and then he's like, looks like a garbage pail kid.
He like starts to go a little too hard at the end. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. It is so good.
But then he gets like, he's in the costume at the end in the Poppies performance. With
He's the
Michael
fish costume.
Yeah, the fish costume, which, I mean, we could talk about that scene. That could be its own How Did It Age? That scene is insane.
With Michael Bolton.
But the fish comes out and is absolutely ripping, and then it cuts to Justin Timberlake, and he's like, I was actually the guy in the fish costume.
He goes, the fish was me. Tyrus. The fact that his name is Tyrus Quash
That's awesome.
is so funny.
I also love that trick of like when you have a million cameos and then you just throw a couple of the famous people in there. Well, obviously they're all famous, but like making Justin Timberlake a musician play someone else is just hilarious.
I love burning cameos. That's what I mean is like you just are like, how can we use them in a way that does not show off what they can really do.
Right.
Like we are hiding them in this movie. It's great.
And Justin Timberlake's a great actor.
Oh, he's so good.
Like he really goes into this role as this weird little chef.
Yeah. I also love that they have a hologram Adam Levine who is alive.
Yeah.
Like it's awesome that he also like was fully in on this movie.
Yeah.
Like he is in the movie a different time and then he also like helped them promote the movie.
Yep.
But in the first part, it's just 20 holograms of Adam Levine like grinding on each other and singing Humble.
So expensive.
I also love the scene where Connor's getting parent trapped in the limo and he's trying to brag about, he's like, look at all this. These are some beautiful ass titties, man. Like there's like a bunch of fans out trying to get in there. They're rubbing their boobs on like the window. And he's like, look at this shit. And then a guy puts his penis on the window and he's like, this is the type of shit. I'm just slurping it up. Like, he's like bragging about his career. And there's a penis and he, like even Yorma is like, Connor. And he's like, no, blah, 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 blah. Keeps going. And then he rolls the window down to sign him and the penis is there. And he's like, oh shit. And then he does actually like hold the penis with a napkin and sign it. And the girl out there is like, that's my fiance's penis.
The fact he goes through with signing it is ridiculous.
And then Akiva ends that scene by being like, don't call me again. And gets out of the limo. I also love the scene where Connor cooks dog shit pancakes to try to figure out which of his which ones are his lackeys, which ones he can trust. He just like puts actual dog shit in pancakes and then feeds it to them. The way he's like teeing it up is so obvious. He's like, how about you? You feeling these?
And then at the end of that scene, the assistant is just eating them straight up.
Yeah, and she's like looking at her phone.
Yeah.
And apparently there's a deleted scene where Yorma and Andy are just in a shouting match back and forth, and it gets like crazy insults back and forth. I haven't seen it, but they talk about like it gets way too far. And the whole time they're screaming at each other, and they keep cutting back to the assistant, and she's just eating the pancakes and ignoring them yelling, doesn't even notice that they're yelling at each other. But I love the way that exemplifies also the lackeys being like, always one step ahead.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, that's smart. You're testing us. That's smart.
He's like, no, you're doing exactly what I'm talking about. Stop. And they're like, totally.
It's not helpful.
Yeah. Getting towards the end of the movie, when he decides to move back home and just goes into like the classic drinking, laying around, becoming gross. Like, and Sarah Silverman shows up to save him. And she's like, all right, come on. We got to go out. He's like, I can't go outside.
I can't deal with the public right now.
I can't deal with the public. Maybe I'll put on my disguise.
She's like, don't wear that.
It's the funniest fucking disguise.
Yeah, they get to riff on that too. She's like, you look like Nazi propaganda.
Yeah, it was another.
Like, you look like Matthew Modine had a peanut allergy. He's like, you look like Jason Segel. And then he's like, right. He's like, that's what Paula said. They're like, oh, great minds. And then he's like,
yeah, he does the
like,
Jason Segel.
Sarah Marshall.
Gotta forget about her.
Yeah, he has to forget about her. I love that movie. Their friendship is like on display there. They have such like chemistry in that scene. But I also love when Paula shows up and he just goes, hey guys, Paula's here. He's alone. His
natural reaction is that there's 20 people there.
But he's just alone in the house, drunk on the floor. He's been drawing horses and selling them. Yeah. He's like, maybe, I wouldn't have gone with that shade of green.
This is my best horse one. In retrospect, I probably wouldn't have used that shade of green.
Yeah.
So I've never seen a horse that's like that.
It's so good. I've talked about this scene on the main channel because it inspired one of the bits that we did about me not taking a shower in a long time. But it's when, you know, they eventually go to Lawrence's farm and they're talking to him and like he's like, fine, you helped with the catchphrase verse. Fine, you co-wrote the catchphrase verse. And then he keeps like backpedaling with no, like Lawrence is just staring at him and he keeps just going further. He's like, but I was there the whole time. I was a little late. I was a bit tardy on that particular day, but I stayed the whole time. And he's like, I was never there. I slept in, but on accident. It was on purpose. It was a power move. It was a power move. Like he just keeps doing that is so good. Yeah. And then he just throws the poppy into the woods or whatever. It's awesome. Yeah. And then it develops into like the most joyful part of the movie. You do feel it. That's one thing is like, it's a very funny movie. It's obviously very stupid. It's mostly parody. Yeah. But you do feel like the sense of friendship when they like you're relieved when they're all in the studio and they're rapping that song that they worked on where it's like, her daddy hates me because my car is slick.
Yeah, they're trying to think. He's like, no, that's the third verse. Connor's outside and like turns down the Poppy's performance and he remembers the second. And he's like, you mean the verse that's like, her dad hates me because my car is slick.
Yeah. Like, that's it. Let's record it.
It's so funny.
Yeah. And that leads to exactly where you think it's going to go, which is where Connor's going to perform with the Style Boys and solo. And he has 6 minutes. Then it gets cut to 3 minutes. And he's talking to the stagehand and she's like, you only got 3 minutes. You have to decide. It's you or the Style Boys. And then he's like, trying to think about it, and she's like, no, he's really making a meal out of this. Yeah. He's looking over at the Style Boys, so maybe he's thinking them. Oh, no, he looked back over at me. So I'm not sure what he's gonna do. Like she's like commentating his thinking, and then he's like, I know what I'm gonna do. And then they have obviously the bait and switch where he's like sings the beginning of Bin Laden. Yeah. He's like, finest girl I ever met in my whole life. Wanna take her home, make her my wife. Knew she was a freak when she started talking. And she said, I'm a style boy for life. And then brings them out. It's great. It's like, it is like a cool moment. And then Michael Bolton.
Yes.
They find Lawrence's journal of incredible thoughts.
Oh my God, yeah. That song is just ridiculous. It's like they like paint Lawrence as like he's like the genius of the group, whatever. He wrote the catchphrase verse and now he's been like in solitude, almost like a monk on like a silence retreat or something. And now they've found his like philosophies that he's been like unearthing and like in his mind, and they're just like the dumbest fucking shit of all time.
Oh yeah. And they take the piano line from Yorma's solo shit, which is really cool that they like do that. Also, when he's playing piano in that part, in the deleted scenes they show, it's like a guy with the same shirt on, putting his hands through and playing, and Yorma's are like this. And so it is funny to me because you can see it being played, and it is an awesome piano line. And then they use that for the Incredible Thoughts song, but it is like, imagine a house cat addicted to the cocaine. They're all like the dumbest thoughts of all time. But it's incredible thoughts. How did my brain conceive them?
And it is like it's the melodrama and like over theatrical Grammy performance type shit that you get. It's like, a melody. There's the smoke and mirrors of the intro verse, and then just like one thing after another.
Yeah,
like,
Harry plays the saxophone,
and it ends with fucking
Usher
coming out on stage. And again, like one of the cameos that really overacts. Like when he gets off stage, he's like, I just did the donkey roll with the Style Boys.
He's like, I'm a Style Boy.
Yeah, he's so excited.
Yeah, but that's a great performance. I think Usher seems genuinely excited. Oh yeah, and the donkey roll as a dance.
Yeah,
I love it. It is so funny. Let me see that donkey roll. It's just this. It's
yeah.
It's awesome. It's such a funny dance.
It's the donkey roll.
Jimmy Fallon loves it. And he's like, oh, don't do that to me, Fallon. Oh, do you set me up?
A lot of great scenes. That was pretty much the whole movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's only an hour and a half.
Right.
And I love like every scene in this movie. So
who do you got down for best performance in this?
I have Tim Meadows and Akiva Schaffer tied. Like,
yeah,
they are my favorites in this movie because I feel like Akiva has all the deadpan moments, and also like he's a bit of an audience avatar in a certain way because he's rolling his eyes at all the Connor stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like so, separated from all of it, but then is tied back to it by like their friendship.
Right.
That feels like relatable. And then he's able to say so many, like the goat line, like all those things. But Tim Meadows is also like electric as Harry.
Yeah, Tim kind of takes the cake for me. It's like, I have a sneaky, like a little consolation award for Justin Timberlake because I think he's just great as a chef.
Right.
But yeah, Tim Meadows, like, he doesn't make the movie. Sandberg does a great job, like, throughout. He is like so devoted to just being an idiot, and he's really good at it. And then, like you said, I love the serious delivery of like, that's where we fuck.
Yeah.
Like when he's like addressing his fans or whatever, he really thinks he's like this like genius. But yeah, Tim Meadows really just does it for me. The Tony lore, and then like him playing the sax at the end and having like his conquering moment of slapping Hunter the Hungry is he's awesome.
And also like the line that we didn't talk about that Tim Meadows has is like the one where he's like, it's an 18,000 person arena. Like, nobody sells this out.
Yeah.
And then Andy Samberg's like, Hammerleg did last week. And then he's like, well, they don't care about tickets. Like, come on, it's an 18,000 person arena. Nobody sells this out. And then he's like, Hammerleg did last week.
Yeah, the way they trade.
They trade just the same lines back and forth. It's great.
Awesome. I mean, it's the newest movie we've done.
Yeah.
And it has aged pretty well. I think there would be obviously some word choices maybe that would be censored out a little more or just switched. Like, the R word is used in the Hunter the Hungry song in a way that obviously is like referencing early Tyler, who was like flippantly using the F slur and the R word and all these things. So it's like, it is referential in that. But I think if it were to be made today, I think those choices are just like obviously on the cutting floor.
Yeah, I still think they might keep that in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it works in the context of it, because Hunter the Hungry is also like a shill and like a lunatic. He's not supposed to be like a good guy, type of thing, but he's supposed to be like an edgelord rapper. That's the whole thing. I just said there's like more pop culture themes to pull from now that I think I just want there to be a Popstar 2. I hope that Netflix gives them a bag to do it, because obviously the first one flopped in theaters and stuff, but like Lonely Island's been so successful since SNL, and so many of the things that they do, like the Naked Gun movie's coming out, and that's Akiva directed that, and Seth Meyers produced it. Like, I just feel like there's so much to work with in the Popstar universe that I would watch 2-3 more of these movies.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, there's so much to parody. They're so good in this space. If you think about their entire career, so much of it has been taking what's popular and finding unique and funny angles, mostly making them themselves the butt of the joke, but in music. And I think that they're so good at that I just feel like they should do more of these movies.
Yeah. My recast is Tim Meadows is the pop star, and Andy Samberg is like an A&R trying to sign him. He's like the suit.
I like that.
Thanks. And then I also have Lil Dicky.
Yeah, but the Lil Dicky one would be like trying to be too philosophical.
Yeah.
It would be too self-serious.
I
think he's
Samberg
good
to write it all, and Lil Dicky has to do it.
Lil Dicky has literally like in his entire career been like, I am not Lonely Island.
Yeah.
I am like Kanye.
Yeah.
and maybe not nowadays, not like Kanye.
No, that'd be a bit of like, what do you call it?
Internalized anti-Semitism.
I guess it'd just be oxymoronic, yeah.
I just recasted it with, friends of the show.
Sure.
The Veronica Slowikowska could be the Connor character. Dev Lemons as the Hunter the Hungry character.
That's good, yeah.
I just couldn't stop imagining Dev Lemons in that role. It would be so funny. And then Brandon Wardell as the Paula character.
The publicist.
Sarah Silverman.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so he would just be so good at that. He has like some of the same deadpan, like funny delivery. That's where I stopped. I couldn't think of enough of our friends that would be good in a movie.
Me?
Yeah, there just wasn't really like a role for you. We'll get around to you probably, but Ro Ramden, maybe as like the Bill Hader F-line character.
Because maybe I'm Skeeter.
Skeeter from like Doug and Skeeter the cartoon, or I don't remember there being a Skeeter character.
We could write one.
Who else? What of our other friends are talented? Molly Garcia, very talented actress. She could be in it. Curtis Connor. Maybe throw him in there.
Why not?
There's actually we have a lot of talented friends now that I'm thinking about it. Hunter Veers.
Yeah. Tons of acting experience.
He should definitely be in the movie. Yeah. But we'll find a place for you, maybe. Okay. If not, we'll attach you as a producer or extra.
Thanks.
Extra, read all about it. Graydon's got no lines, something like that. Yeah. It's the whole movie.
Right, yeah. So. This one was kind of weird because it was like the most we have to talk about the soundtrack, but it's also like we've already talked about scenes, we've already talked about lines. Majority of those are in songs anyway. Yeah. But like I said in the beginning, in the context, like it's an impressive feat. It's almost 30 songs written for this.
She requested intercourse with the clinical efficiency of the assassination of Bin Laden.
Yeah, I think we're in agreement there that is the best song.
Yeah, that's the best song in the movie for sure.
On all levels. And then I love the like childish melody that they're playing around with at the end. That like, her daddy hates me because my car is slick. For whatever reason, that line sticks with me.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, Lawrence hooked up with her. And he's like, oh, no. And it's like about how she's like always pretending to be sick and like ditching him. And he's like, I hope you're dying. Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's really good. The other song that I feel like Humble is also, it's a very a good song, like legitimately sounds good.
Yeah, and then the gay anthem one. That has like that joke of just him interjecting in his own song to make his sexuality clear is very funny.
There are some bad songs, like the Two Banditos song I don't really like that much, or the Spain one.
That's just such a dumb joke. Yeah.
It is funny though. Yeah. The fact that it cuts away right after he goes, our bellies are full of paella. That line is funny. Obviously, I've done it many times, and I will continue to recommend it. I think it's an awesome movie and so fun to watch.
Yeah, I totally would too. As my first watch, I think it was an absolute hoot, and I think it gets underrated because of its box office flop. And The Lonely Island shoots at a large clip. Like, they have so many sketches and so many songs out there that if you've been put off by some of them, you might think that the whole movie's like that. But the movie does have like some range, and I feel like there's jokes kind of in there for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, what I think, like, what inspired me about them as a kid is, like, having a childish sense of humor and seeing it be respected by comedians who don't really dabble in that.
Right.
Like, I remember growing up with The Lonely Island and being, like, surprised that people revered them.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I think this is so funny.
Right.
But, like, it doesn't feel classy. It doesn't feel like, these really respected old comedians would look at them and be like, they're amazing. They kind of broke the mold on that. And that's why I think they're credited with like the internet age thing.
Yeah.
Is like their style of comedy is very juvenile. But they like live in that and they know that.
When it gets executed at a high level.
Yes. And they write so well around that to prop it up and let it be that. Yeah. Like, it's a testament to their entire career and how respected they are that they can get to this level and still write in a movie that this super legendary verse has the words dinky nuts.
Yeah.
Like delivered like that.
Yeah.
And people still are like, this is hilarious.
Yeah. Classic comedians like tend to love that shit of like, you do so much work to say dinky nuts. Like that in itself is hilarious. You got $20 million.
Yeah.
And cameos from fucking Ringo Starr and Martin Sheen.
And Nas.
Yeah, and you say dinky nuts. And then like
they have to sit in the premiere and watch that.
And sign a penis. Like sign a fake penis.
Yeah. Like you do a lot of work to be able to just say fart jokes and dick jokes and shit. And that's why it's awesome.
I love it.
I gave it 5 stars and I said, me likey that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I gave it 3 stars and I said, rest in peace, Bin Laden.
Yeah. Yeah. Another fun behind the scenes thing for the people who don't listen to the Seth Meyers Lonely Island podcast is apparently even before this movie, they've always said me likey that or me likey dat. And they text each other MLD. Like they'll be like, what do you guys think of this like demo idea for a song? And they'll be like MLD. Me likey dat. Yeah.
When I did see the Bin Laden song, I was like, damn, I thought he was still alive at this time.
I know. It happened a lot earlier than you think. I know it happened during the Obama administration. Right. I think it was 2012 maybe that it happened.
It's crazy.
But yeah, it is funny because I was like, oh, wow, this is pretty soon after Bin Laden died. And I guess that makes it topical.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
It could exist at any time.
Whatever. That was Popstar, Never Stop, Never Stopping.
And this has been How Did It Age? Let us know what movie you want us to do next for this series. And like we said, join our Patreon or become a member on the main channel if you want to see what movie we are watching 1 week ahead of time so you can watch it. And then these will make more sense to you. Other than that, thanks for watching. Like the video, all that stuff, and we hope you have a wonderful day.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Have a great day. Bye.
You know, a lot of people suffer from seasonal allergies, but me, the springtime is my favorite time to go to the zoo because of the dandelions.
Honey, these lions are dandy.
Let's go see the dandelions today.
I like the Nittany lions.
Penn State? I went to Pencil State. I don't know.
Oh.
Penn State, I mean, you would think there's a Pencil State as well, right?
My grandma used to knit me lions.
A lion sweater. Okay.
Okay.
Back to the video.
Yeah.